Hello, it's Glenn McQueenie, and welcome to my 25-minute Success Series podcast. Every week, we meet with a wonderful agent or broker. Usually don't really know what the problem is, and within 25 minutes, we'll be able to find out the solution to what a great niche market they'll be able to build in and develop, and also leave them with a great marketing blueprint to follow over the next 12 months. So today, I have a special guest, Shaheen Lambert from Keller Williams Urbane Realty in Montreal, Quebec. So, hi, Shaheen. How are you?
I'm really good, and you?
I'm great. Thank you so much for coming and joining me on the call. So, can you do me a favor and just give some of anyone who would be listening, just a little bit of background so they know where you are, like how long you've been in the business, and where you are now in your business and where you'd like to go?
I literally just started 30 days ago, exactly today, actually. And where I am in my business is pretty fresh. Yeah, I'm
Wow,
literally
that's
starting.
new.
Yeah, yeah, fresh out
Wow.
of the oven.
So you've been in for 30 days, so just launching your career right now, and I'm sure we can all kind of remember what that was like, where you probably come into the business and you're just sitting there going, okay, all this training we got from to get my broker license, now we got to get out in the real world. What am I really supposed to do? So what have you been doing so far since you started, and where would you like to go with your business?
What I've been doing so far is basically taking every single training they've been offering at the office, reading a lot. I've read like I don't know, like 4 or 5 books on real estate. I've read a lot of scripts. I went through your book actually this weekend, and I've been sitting with my team leader a lot and just brainstorming. That's what I've been doing mainly. Try to figure out where I'm going and how I want to do this, and just to figure it out to do it properly.
Okay. So, kind of at the whole collecting all the information right now, just trying to understand how it works. So, could you paint us a picture on what it would look like? Like, who would be your perfect client? Like, if I was the one booking your appointments tomorrow, and you had to tell me who you want sitting in that chair, um, who would be your dream come true client? Like, who would you really like to work with?
I would actually really, really love to work with women that are very they're very driven. Like then now there's that expression like boss lady. Like that's what I would want to work with. Like someone like a woman that's independent, not necessarily like single, but independent that wants to own her own house and that like really projects the image that she doesn't need anyone or anything to help her progress in life. That's really what like the clientele I would work with, like someone very driven and very like a strong independent woman.
All right, so we're going to call this the boss woman niche. I think that's really
Perfect.
cool. I think my new niche is the boss woman niche. I think that's really exciting. So, where are they now? Where are these women now? Because a lot of times when we're planning how to market and attract these people, we really have to kind of come out of our own eyes and go visit in their bodies for a little while and just imagine you're them right now, and you're at home, you're like, what would you think is keeping them awake at night? So, what's their biggest problem that they want to solve? So, what comes to mind when I ask you that question?
I think the biggest problem that would like actually keep them at night is like how to progress and not feel like they're staying at the same place every day. I think like anything that would help them grow. I think they're very scared of not growing because it keeps me up at night feeling like I'm the same person I was a month ago, and
Right.
just like keep like moving forward in life. I think that's a big
Okay, so they're
concern.
pretty driven, don't like to stay still. How old is your perfect target market, would you say?
I don't really think it's I don't know. I can't put an age on it because I've seen girls that are extremely driven at 18, and I've seen some that are extremely driven at 45 or 60 or 65. But I think anywhere from, I don't know, anywhere from like 25 to like 40, even 45. I don't know. I can't put an age on it
Okay.
somehow.
Well, so let's just like who would you feel more comfortable with? Would it be a 45-year-old? Would it be a 65-year-old? Would it be a 25-year-old? Is there a 5 or 10-year age range where you kind of like because what you're really looking for when you actually go through this whole exercise of your niche is you're kind of looking for yourself. You're looking
Well,
for people just like you.
I guess well, I'm 30, so anywhere from like 30 to 40 I would be comfortable with.
Okay. And when I say that, I wasn't doing that to ask your age. I was doing it just because I wanted to paint the picture, for you that you'll find like all of your friends, your really close friends, will have very similar values, goals, and mindsets as you do. And the more you can bring this into real estate and only attract that type of person who shows up in that chair every time for an appointment, then you have this almost like instant connection that happens. And because you're both, it's almost like when you have a great conversation with someone you just met, and you're like, oh my God, you get me, and I get you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does actually a lot.
Okay. So where is this 30 to 40-year-old person living right now? Where are they now?
I think they're living probably like downtown or Griffintown, the basically the where all the buildings are going up, like the trendy places.
Okay. So this is downtown Montreal, and for people listening, this would be just west of downtown Montreal. Is that right?
Like yeah, southwest. It's very confusing because Griffintown was almost non-existing a few years ago. Like you didn't really hear that name, but now it's cool and trendy. So yeah, it's a little bit like lower than downtown,
Okay.
like south of
So
downtown.
from
But
so from the train station, be just south, and then from like the Bell Center for people listening, it would just be probably within a kilometer of that, right?
yes,
Kilometer.
exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. So real downtown Montreal. Okay, and are they renting right now, or are they owning in that condo?
I think they're probably renting for now.
And what do you think has been holding them back from buying their first home right now?
I think they probably think it's too expensive and they'll have to sacrifice too much of their social life to own something. Because, like, I see some of my girlfriends, they go to restaurants a lot, they travel a lot, and I know it's things that they don't want to sacrifice to own something.
Right. Is there any like income properties in that area too? Like so instead of them buying one condo, because I mean that's the entry point for a lot of people, right? Like I'm going to buy my first condo. But by the time you take in like the kind of fees, the monthly fees, the taxes are usually a little bit higher. How much would it cost them to buy their first condo per month? Would you say?
I have like seriously no idea how much they go for because it's so like you can find something that's $1,200 a month, but you could find something that's $4,000 a month. It's very sparse in that area. There's everything.
Okay. And then what is the cost of a one bedroom condo in Griffintown right now? A newer one bedroom condo that you'd like to live in?
Um, I would say anywhere from like 250 to 350, depending on the building and what they have to offer in the building.
Okay. So my first kind of bit of advice would be the more you can almost become the expert, if that's is where we want to focus right now in Griffintown, where you're kind of like, okay, here one bedrooms are between 250 and 350. Here's what two bedrooms. Here's one bedroom plus solarium. Just kind of have the lay of the land, right? So what the actual costs are, and also what the equivalent rental value would be. That would be a really good research point for you, because once you know those two sets of facts, you're going to feel a lot more comfortable talking about that product to people.
Yeah, no, for sure. It makes a lot of sense.
Okay. And then for someone to buy a $300,000 condo and put, say, 15 or 20% down, which is typically what they do, they're going to be looking at probably carrying costs of around $2,000 to $2,100 a month, which is a lot of money for one person to carry just for housing, right?
Yeah.
And so in that area or in Griffintown, is there any like income properties where there's like duplexes or triplexes or fourplexes, like 3 or 4 units together?
There is, but they're becoming rarer and rarer.
Right? Is there another cool part of Montreal where those people may consider living if we could almost group these people together? Because here's where I'm kind of what I'm thinking of. What if we started getting investment properties for boss ladies, and this was their entry point into the market where they would buy a income property with 2 or 3 or 4 people? Their monthly carrying costs are going to be way lower than if they were actually buying their first condo.
Well,
And
there's actually this new area that's becoming trendier. It's called Saint-Henri. It's right beside it. There's a lot of duplex in that area, or
and do you have
triplex.
any
And
idea what those would go for? Do you know what the prices would?
no, I have no clue.
Okay. So that would be really interesting to do because I think this could be a really interesting niche if you want to do it because it's going to solve a couple of problems, right? One is it's the reason they're not buying right now is it's very expensive to carry it for one person on one salary, right?
Yes.
Um, so what they end up doing is they're renting. Now they're paying someone else's mortgage and giving someone else financial security and power and not empowering themselves. And if we could get them almost into this niche of we're going to get groups of 3 or 4 ladies together to buy one fourplex. I don't know the prices there, but I'm guessing they're got to be under $1 million.
Oh
Um,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, so if you take four $300,000 condos, that's 1.2 million. If you could buy a fourplex for 7 or 800,000, it's going to carry for maybe $1,200 a month or $1,500 a month for these ladies. And then the plan is, okay, we're all going to get together for 5 years, and we're going to just be trying to pay down the mortgage as much as we can, and then we're going to sell this property in 5 years. That's going to give us all a lot more money, much more bigger down payments to be able to buy much better properties that will appreciate more. And in the meantime, if something happens, then they move out. Someone else can either buy in, but more importantly, just rent in. And now you kind of have this income producing asset. And here's what I found when I've done this with people before is the first one everyone's nervous about. But what you might find is the same group of ladies every 1 or 2 years will start refinancing that one income property and buying additional income properties. And now you could almost become the boss lady investment guru, which would just be empowering women by helping them build their wealth through real estate. Because money is just freedom for many people. It's a freedom of choice, right? To do whatever they want to do. And so, what do you think about that idea?
I think it's actually really, really good. Like
Okay.
very interesting.
Like, does it get you excited or not, or do you think it would get
Yeah,
your friends excited? Or
I'm thinking about like I already have in my head like three girls that could like be together on this, and I'm like, oh, this would work. This would
yeah,
really work.
isn't that cool? So, what you could do is almost like get a Facebook page called Boss Lady Investment Properties Montreal, right? Um, so now you can start directing people as a place to go to where you start talking, you start building your tribe by talking about what you're doing. And you can even start sharing stories about how you bought the first one. Or here's my pick for the Boss Lady Investment Properties of the week. And you know what we're going to do? We're going to have like a cinco set, like drinks from 4 to 7 on this Thursday night, and everyone who's interested in it, why don't we all just get together for drinks, and then we'll chat about it. And on the following Saturday, we're going to go on a tour, and on that tour, we're going to go and see 5 or 6 investment properties back to back, And if you want, we can do the double tour. So the morning tour is we're going to go and see 5 or 6 condos that you could probably afford. And in the afternoon, we're going to go and see 5 or 6 investment properties. And then you tell me you know, what makes you feel better or what choice you would make.
Yeah, it sounds like a really good idea. Especially that I have a background in interior design and I have this ability to see potential when people don't see it, so I can actually make it seem a lot more appealing to them as because sometimes investment properties are not they need a little bit of love sometimes,
Yeah.
especially because sometimes they're older or because renters don't really take care of the investment
Mhm.
properties that much. So I think it would be really good for me to. I think I could use my assets in that way
Mhm.
for sure.
So, isn't it great that where you can bring your unique abilities and strengths from a previous career into real estate because that will give you confidence, right? Like I'm pretty sure you're confident talking about interior design.
Yeah, extremely. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. That
Like
I.
like way more than if you're talking about real estate right now, just because you just don't know enough of the product right now that you just won't have that same level. It's like me trying to pretend I'm an interior decorator in front of you.
Yeah.
Right? You're gonna be like, yeah, you have no idea what you're talking about. So what if you were to do like this could be really fun because on the tour you could do the before and after. So try to find one income property that is basically hasn't been touched and looks terrible, and then show them the completed product and show them the difference in the prices and tell them that if they do the work, it's going to be much cheaper and they will already get this equity lift and build their wealth just by doing one reno.
Yeah, and let's face it, girls like that.
I know, totally. You
They
know,
love it.
like, yeah, like for most men, it's like a leather couch and a TV. We're pretty happy. You know, there's nothing else to do in life. You know, but if you have that sense of design and the background in design, and you can bring what you're really confident in doing, your unique abilities, to a target market of ladies, where it's like, you know what, everyone else is telling you to go and rent a condo or buy a condo, but I'm planting my flag here, saying that's really stupid and what you should be doing is building wealth through buying investment properties together, where you live in them at first, and then you sell them and take enough money out to go and buy your own, detached house or something. Or you just keep this money reinvested, and then what you could do as the realtor, this is what I think is really cool, is like, here's the plan, ladies. 5 of us are going to do this, okay? And you 4 are putting the money in. I'm not putting any money in. My job is to find the property, advise on the interior design, um, get this group together, and we're going to either all live in it or I'm going to rent it all out on for your behalf, and I'll look after the wealth part. And here's the deal: when we go to sell that property in 5 years, we're going to split it 5 ways. You're going to get your original down payment back, and then whatever profits left, we're going to split it 5 ways. And now this can be a second pillar of income for you, Shaheen, to build your wealth.
Yeah, because I like building my wealth actually a lot.
Yeah.
So
So why not do it? Because I'm always amazed with agents who, go and bring their best investment properties to their clients and never try to get any part of the equity. And I don't ever think the agent should have to put in the money. Like, you're paying the agent to go and find that property. They know the economic model. They know what the rents are. They know how much it's going to carry forward, what the mortgage is. They know what the cash flow is going to be on the property, and they'll manage it for you. So all you have to do is give them the money. They'll take care of everything else. So if you remember, because for those people listening, I met Shaheen on Thursday when I was teaching in Montreal. She came up and talked to me afterwards. But in that class, when I was teaching the McQueenie method, there was one guy who all he wants to do is golf and ski. And but what he really likes to do is sell investment properties between 10 and 20 units. Do you remember that guy? Shaheen?
yeah, I do. I do
Yeah,
remember.
right. So, you know, for him, he's just got to go find more people with money. And I showed that slide. Remember, it showed, okay, first of all, you buy you have the investment property, then you do the rental division, then you have a property management division and a repair division. And because you are managing all four of those divisions, your perceived value in the marketplace goes up, and you can charge way more fees. And you can start making more pillars of income, right? So you get paid on when you sell them the income property. You get paid. Sorry, you get paid when they buy it. You also get paid when they sell it, and you get paid the equity lift when you do that. And then if you want to, almost hire juniors that could they could be basically running your rental division that would be filling up these places all the time. That you can make more income off of that. And then also, in Toronto, we charge about 7 to 8% per month for property management fees. So you could all of a sudden, if you did this, like within 12 months, you could probably have a couple of these done and already be making the money not only on the sale, on the equity lift, but also on the property management.
Yeah, that sounds that it actually sounds like nothing I've heard of before, and this is very new to me and very exciting.
Isn't it cool?
Yeah, it's really cool. It's different. I think if I would have had this like opportunity when I was younger, I would have totally jumped on it. If I would have known the right person and the right expert to like guide me through this, I would have jumped on it. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and so this is what the cool thing is because you get to be the expert. And because, like, the whole point of my book and going into your niche is, first of all, you identify what your natural strengths are. You bring it to a target market of people you really like to work with. You position yourself as the celebrity specialist in that niche, and then people start coming running to you. And so I would kind of say the blueprint. I would almost run a 90-day blueprint for you right now, and I'll give you the 12-month goal. Okay? So you ready?
Yeah, I am.
Here we go. Okay, so in the next 90 days, here's what you have to do, okay? It's the 90-day sprint. And what I would strongly suggest is that every day you spend at least a couple of hours inside of properties. You got to get that property background to really understand what all the condos are, the pros and cons of the different condos, of what your typical target market would be buying, right? Okay. Also, go and see all of the current investment properties that are currently for sale. But more importantly, over the last 2 years, print up all the sales of not only the condos, but also of the investment properties. Get in your car or on your bike or whatever way you want to do it and drive by every single house. And what you're going to see with every house that's sold, you're going to see some of those sales will be before and afters. They bought it for this, they did a reno, and they flipped it for this price.
Okay.
And now you're going to kind of see, oh, I see. If they put in this, because you're going to see the before and after pictures too, right? Yeah. Oh, so if they buy it for 7 and they put in 70,000, they can sell it for 900. Like I don't know your market, but that's what you need to be knowing.
Okay. Yeah, no, for sure. I'll have especially it's nice outside. It's an excuse to go and
so,
enjoy the summer and still work.
Right. So the first 30 days, I would be doing a whole bunch of research right now. So I'm going to give you the 90-day sprint, but the 30-day sprint is you got to know your product. And from now, for the next 30 days, every time you're talking to boss ladies, you got to tell them what you're thinking about doing.
Perfect.
And then you're getting the market research back from them and say, would you be interested? Like if I was to do a seminar in the middle of September, would you come to it? And of course, they're going to say yes. So in 30 days, you could get your product knowledge down and do this seminar, your first seminar. And if 4 people show up, it's a success.
Because yeah, it's better than 0.
Yeah, and a lot of people are like, oh, I wanted 10 or 20 or 30. I'm like, you know what? You're going to be terrible doing your first seminar, so you want a few people there, right? And it doesn't even have to be a seminar. It could just be sitting around a table for drinks with 3 people because you might feel more comfortable doing there. And then just start doing these monthly seminars and using your Facebook page, business page, to be driving the traffic into it. And then people around you will grow into the conversation you're having with them, which is, here's what I'm planning on doing. I really love working with driven women who are very independent. whether they're single or not single, it doesn't matter. But I'm a boss lady, and I want to work with boss ladies, and we're going to build a tribe of powerful boss ladies in Montreal.
Sounds so fun.
Isn't that fun? It's so great.
Yeah, that sounds like really amazing.
Right. So then in your first your first 30 days, your first 90 days, you're going to be doing a couple more seminars. You're also going to probably start doing some transactions now because you're going to be learning that product and you're going to be feeling a lot more confident. And remember, everything works on, first of all, you need to get momentum. So you just got to get into action. And then as you get momentum, you're going to start getting a lot more motivation, right? Because you're actually waking up doing something with a lot of clients. And then as you start working with them and helping them out, you get a lot more confident. So it goes momentum, motivation, confidence. And then you just start rinse, lather, repeat that cycle every 90 days. And with your goal being that over the next 12 months that you've got at least 4 or 5 or 6 or 7, you set the goal of 8 boss lady groups have all bought a property. And I've completed 6 seminars. And I think if you did that, you'd be well on your way to really getting into your niche and really having a pretty awesome career.
Yeah, it sounds it's fun because you just gave me another outlook on how to do real estate now. And it's not the traditional way, and I'm not traditional. I didn't want to go the traditional way, so I'm really, really happy about
That's awesome.
about this.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you. Do you have any questions just before we wrap up?
No, not really. I'm just gonna let it sink in and like really think about it and get into the research. And I'm gonna re-listen to the podcast, obviously.
That's
And
awesome.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
we also get these things transcribed, so you'll be able to read it too. And you can
That's even
also
better.
share it and share your podcast on your Facebook page and share the whole text of it. And you'll just invite other people behind the scenes into your world on how you kind of develop this really cool niche, right?
It's really good. It's like follow my story.
No, that's so awesome. So thanks a million for joining me today, Shaheen. I hope you got some good information, and I can't wait to see Boss Lady dominate the Montreal real estate market.
Well, thanks for having me, Glenn.
You're welcome. Talk to you soon, Shaheen. Bye-bye.